Hello, everyone. Mrs. Morell here with your warm-up question explanation for the week. So we went through the semester exam and picked out some questions that gave some students some trouble, and that's what we put on the warm-ups for Tuesday, Wednesday. So here they are. Number one, which of the following statements best describes the relationship of the kidneys and the liver to the circulatory system? So if you were picking out keywords, you'd go relationship, kidneys, liver, circulatory system. So what's the relationship? A, the kidneys and the liver pump blood. Well, do the kidneys and the liver pump blood, or does the heart pump blood? The heart pumps the blood, so eliminate A. B, the kidneys and the liver produce blood cells. Well, do they, or does bone marrow produce blood cells? Bone marrow produces blood cells, so eliminate B. Do the kidneys and the liver remove waste from the blood? Yes, they do. If you'll remember, they are both part of the excretory system, which is to filter water and waste from the blood to be removed from the body in the form of urine. And then D, the kidneys and the liver make blood clotting proteins. No, that is also a function of other parts of the body and organelles in the cells. So the correct answer for number one was the kidneys and the liver remove waste because they are part of the excretory system. Number two, kidneys are bean-shaped organs that filter waste from the bloodstream. Which model best demonstrates how a kidney functions? Well, the question told you that a kidney is a filter, so you need a model that looks like a filter. So the bulb being squeezed, no, that might be what the bladder and the urethra look like, a model for the bladder or the urethra. C is a diagram of the whole system. D is a diagram for a single kidney, but B, choice B, you can see you've got a beaker full of water and rocks and another beaker with a mesh screen over it. And if you pour beaker one over beaker two, it's going to filter the water from the rocks. So that is a model for filtration, which is what the kidney does. So the best answer is B. Number three, which of the following is a response to an external stimulus? I think a lot of students missed this on the exam because they forgot what external means and what an external stimulus would be. That would be something outside of the body. So a response to a stimulus that is outside of the body. So vomiting due to a virus, that would be inside the body. Release of hormones to regulate blood sugar levels, that would be inside the body. Wilting of plant leaves due to a lack of turgor pressure, that would be inside the plant. So all of those are internal stimuli and responses. But running away when frightened, the thing that frightened you had to be an external response. So running away when frightened is an external response, a response to an external stimulus. Compared to number four, which of the following is a response to an internal stimulus? Internal, if you've forgotten, means inside. So which of these things happened inside an organism to cause a response? Body temperature from an infection. So when you run a temperature, that's a result of an internal stimulus. The stimulus is the infection. Running a temperature to kill it is the response. All the other things, striking your knee, fingernails growing back, trimming, scar tissue around a cut, damaged skin, those are all external responses, external stimuli. You cut your fingernails. That's an external response. You cut your skin. That's an external stimulus. You strike your knee. That's an external stimulus. The only one that's internal is an infection. So number four was body temperature changing from an infection. And number five is a kind of unearthed style diagram of the internal bodies, the body systems all together. And it says the organ system that transforms food into substances that can be used by cells for energy is represented by the letter. So you have to ask yourself which system transforms food into substances that the cells can use. So that would be the digestive system. So which one of these, W, X, Y, or Z, is the digestive system? So let's just start over here. Y, there's a lung, so that would be, and it's connected to the heart, so that would be the respiratory system. Here is X, that is showing the heart and the vessels going to the brain, the lungs, the rest of the body. That would be the circulatory system. And then Z, that's a kidney, so that would be the excretory system. And W, that is the stomach and small intestine. So that is the digestive system. So the organ system that transforms food into substances that the body can use is system W. All right, so there are the homework questions for Tuesday, Wednesday. And here are the warm-up questions that we had on Thursday, Friday. So number 1, Jack bought a small turtle. 3 months later, the turtle had grown to twice its original size. Which of the following statements best describes why the turtle got bigger? Well, this goes back to our characteristics of living things. All living things grow and develop. What do we mean by grow? That means they get bigger, but why do they get bigger? Do the parts stretch out, like in answer choice A? Do they get swollen by absorbing food and water? Do they get full so they're bigger and stretched out? So the size of each cell gets bigger? Or is it that the number of cells in the turtle's body has increased? So if you'll remember, when we grow, to grow is to get bigger, but the reason we get bigger is because we have more cells. You have a whole lifetime of cell reproduction, of mitosis happening. Which of the following produces identical cells? So we need a process that produces new cells. And so that's going to be either mitosis or meiosis. We learned that in our vocabulary. Pollination is simply fertilization in plants. Fertilization is when egg and sperm connect. Osmosis is diffusion of water. But mitosis, if you'll remember, is when a single non-gamete cell divides and 2 identical daughter cells are formed. So number 2 is mitosis. Number 3, which of the following cell types is formed by meiosis? So meiosis is very similar to mitosis, but it only occurs in the gametes. And if you'll remember from the vocabulary, gametes are sex cells. So your answer choice is going to be a sex cell, either an egg or a sperm. In this case, the answer is B, sperm cells. Muscle cells, skin cells, and blood cells all reproduce by mitosis, not meiosis, because they're not gametes. Only gametes reproduce by meiosis. Number 4, based on the sex chromosomes in a typical human egg and sperm cells at fertilization, the probability of producing a female is, so this basically means every time fertilization happens, what's the probability that you're going to get a girl? So what is the probability? You're either going to get a girl or a boy. Those two things together equal 100% of the outcomes. So that's half of the outcomes. So that's 50%. So you got a 50% chance of producing a female every time there's fertilization, and likewise a 50% chance of producing a male. Number 5, if an intestinal cell in a butterfly contains 24 chromosomes, a butterfly egg cell would contain how many chromosomes? Well, if you'll remember, during mitosis, these 24 chromosomes duplicate, so that you have 48 chromosomes. And then once the cell has the replicated chromosomes, then it splits so that each cell has 24 chromosomes. They're genetically identical. But if you'll remember, gametes, because egg and sperm will eventually join, have half the number of chromosomes. So if a regular cell in a butterfly, like an intestinal cell, has 24 chromosomes, that means the egg cell is going to have half that many, and that would be 12 chromosomes. So that when it meets the male gamete, the sperm cell, also with 12 chromosomes, you have 24 chromosomes total, which is how many you're supposed to have for a butterfly. All right, so there is your warm-up question recap. Please get your homework done as soon as possible. Turn it in. If you have any questions, see your teacher.